Wednesday, the women of Washington State went to Seattle and upended number 4 and arch rival Washington. And 48 hours later, they took down number 9 UCLA in Westwood. Tonight, they return home to find another top 10 team waiting for them, Stanford. It's number 17 Washington State and number 9 Stanford on the Palouse on the Pac-12 Network. Two of the best volleyball teams in the nation. Both are undefeated in Pac-12 play, and only one will remain that way. It's number 9 Stanford in town to take on number 17 Washington State, presented by Tachikara. Hi, everybody. Thank you for joining us. Krista Blanc along with former Olympian Mike Dodd. And Mike, it's just the start of Pac-12 play. We have 2 undefeated teams. It's not going to stay that way, but great competition every single night.
Yeah, you know, Krista, I looked at the schedule at the start of the season. I see Stanford playing Washington State. I think, you know, Stanford's going to roll 3-0, but Washington State out to a marvelous start, and we truly have 2 teams that believe they're going to win tonight.
You're right. Well, for the Stanford Cardinal, they've been getting production from both their youth and experience, and one of their freshmen's been stepping up in Pac-12 play, and that's Catherine Plummer.
Catherine Plummer is amazing. Truly a player that can play all positions on the court. Right now they have her playing opposite. She just bombs right side in transition, but maybe her greatest contribution to the team is she loves to take on the opponent's best left side hitter and shut them down.
So big production from her in her first year, but how about the redshirt senior as well, Inky Ajanaku? They are glad to have her back.
Yeah, Ajanaku, you know, she was All-American in 2013, 2014, then the ACL, and you know what? You just talk to John Dunning and he just oozes pride. He's so proud of the way she's come back and carried this team. She's leading the team in kills and percentage and just doing everything and being a great leader.
Well, on the other side for Washington, they have all their hitters back, and one of their best is a senior, Kyra Holt.
Yeah, Kyra Holt is another one of those players that plays all the way around. She hits a ton from the 10-foot line, getting kills all over the place. And you talk to Coach Jen Greeley, she says the biggest improvement for Holt this year is her transition hitting. All those tough sets that she gets, she's hitting a higher percentage and getting more kills. Really doing the job for the Cougs.
Going to be a good one. It's a top 20 matchup. Number 9 Stanford and number 17 Washington State. Who stays undefeated? We will find out next on Pac-12 Network. Middle, and a nice play out of the back from Whitford to keep it alive. Plummer has to wait just a little on that set. Holt, big swing, and had so much on it that it went off the block and up on Washington State's side. It hits the speaker system up top, so that's out of bounds. It'll go to the Cougs.
And the Cougs have won quite a few of those long rallies. A lot of good plays, blocking, defense on both sides, but the Cougs winning the rally. Those are big.
Plummer, what an angle. Beautiful set to her.
Brazilian style. Kind of facing the line with her shoulders and then just wrist away. Watch this. Wham. Just a freshman, but doesn't play like it.
No, very confident.
You should see her play beach volleyball as well. What a player.
She gets it done inside and out. Free ball over to the Cardinal, and everybody caught watching. Those are tough ones to take. Smart play, a little tip there from Whitford.
Yeah, this is Ajanaku or Plummer. Either one of those players have got to go for that ball. You got to play the ball first, then make your approach.
Tough serve, the overpass, and there's Whitford with some power on that one.
Outside hitter's dream, the overpass right on top of the net. John Dunning on the sidelines just telling his team to focus, lock in. There's a perfect pass.
Tip from Ajanaku, and she's able to tip it up and over and take it back. Tied up again here in set 2.
Tip that ball at about 11 feet. So high.
She's so athletic.
if Mims continues with the quickness of the hit, that's going to force Stanford's middles to have to commit and open things up even more in the outside for Washington State.
Jen Greeney's so impressed with Mims's growth in just one season. And there's a quick little play from Fitzmaurice.
What a great pass from Ivana Vanyak. Just puts it right on a dime, and Fitzmaurice finishes out of the middle.
And Stanford passing much cleaner here in set two. There's Humphreys back in. Block, read that tip that time.
Fitzmaurice and Lutz again. Larry, you see the shot. I love this shot. You see the focus of the blocker's eyes. Fitzmaurice running the show for Stanford out of the middle. One of the best blockers in the nation and just a freshman.
Back set to Bethune. The block sends it over. It comes back out of bounds, and Stanford will take it.
So that's 2 in a row for Fitzmaurice and crew.
Tough pass to get to, but Kyra Holt, what an option she is out of the back.
Boy, I tell you, you go down 10-8, you kind of feel like Stanford's getting a little momentum. What a luxury to have Kyra Holt hitting out of the back row. Stanford gets 2 big blockers up, but Holt moves it in the right place at the right time.
Holt's Pac-12 Offensive Player of the Week. 18 kills in their win at UCLA. There she is again out of the back and had every bit on that.
Such a tough hit. That ball way outside of the 10-foot line. But Holt is one of those players that we call hits a heavy ball. You see, that ball just gets on the Stanford defender quick, unable to react.
A lot of up and down seasons for Kyra Holt in her senior season now. Jen Greeney putting together such talent. Woodford had to take a little bit off. Shaneline was there. Vanyak off the block and in.
Let's remember that play. That's the first long rally that Stanford was fighting and able to win. Vanyak with a really nice high snap off the top of the block. Boy, I don't know about you. This is great volleyball, fun to watch. Defense, blocking, it's got it all.
It definitely does. Stanford serving the ball better this set than they did in the first as well. And a big swing from Claire Martin, but cannot clear the net.
Adriana Fitzmaurice again all over that play. You can see the intensity. Fitzmaurice is just like a cougar at the net right now, just wanting to pounce on the next set.
Shaneline trying to dodge the block. Gets the touch and a point to the Cougs.
What a smart set for Shaneline. Had all of Stanford's best blockers up in her face, just reached high, hit it off the block, got the touch, and got a big point for Washington State.
Casey Shaneline, one of the captains. There's the tough serve from Tawny Stevens off the net, off of the Stanford player, and the ace for Tawny. 7th on the year.
And if you've been watching Washington State over the years, you know this is no surprise. Stevens can rip that jump serve.
Senior out of Albany, Oregon, and she's that player that'll do whatever the team needs. Nice hustle and try from McDonald, but an even better tip from Stanford.
Really nice spot on the court for Michaela Keefe there. That time on the outside, just dink shot right over the top of the Washington State block for the point.
Tough serve from Fitzmaurice and the ace.
Boy, Fitzmaurice has had a really nice run this series for Stanford with her blocking at the net and now bringing that intensity to the service line. That was a really good serve.
8th service ace of the season for Fitzmaurice, and another tough one to handle. Shaneline finds an opening.
How about Shaneline? That set was at least 6-7 feet off the net, just goes up high and just rips this cross court. Big time hitting.
Alexis Derigi back to serve and back in. Lutz, they go to her outside. That's a tough block, but Stanford able to keep it going. And Mims out of the middle, just misses the back line.
All-American, Inky Ajanaku hitting the ball, but what does she do that time? Great cover. Covers the ball, keeps the ball alive. Stanford gets the unforced errors, the little things. What a great play for Ajanaku.
So a close one here in set 2. Stanford up by 2 over Washington State. Number 17, Washington State took set number 1, but number 9, Stanford bouncing back up by 2 here in set 2. You know, this is an interesting scenario. Head coach Jen Greeny and her husband, Burdette Greeny, he is alongside her. It's their anniversary, Mike Don. Happy 16th wedding anniversary. Look at the young.
Look at all that hair. Looking good.
He's now transferred that hair down to his jawline a little bit more, but just 16 years ago, she said, you know, we were just kids back then, but now we are partners in crime here as coaches for this Washington State team, and they both were part of this Washington State program. Burdette played baseball here, and she said, yeah, we like to say we met in the weight room. That's how that goes.
Very romantic.
It is very romantic. As out of the timeout, just wide. Hitting a bit off the mark the last several chances for Washington State.
Well, you wonder why John Dunning is such a great and successful coach, and you can see it in the eyes of every player for Stanford. It's a different team here in the second set. The focus is laser-like, and they're really into this.
He can definitely get them to regroup and refocus. We've seen it so many times as Plummer, though, goes right at the big block, and the Cougs take it back.
Yeah, Plummer loves to hit that wrist away down the line on the right side, and Kyra Holt read it perfectly. Stuck that left hand out there, sealed the line, didn't let Plummer get it through, and got a big block at a crucial time for Washington State here in this second set.
Here's Rigoni. And the net trying to help her out a little bit there as getting one arm on it. It's Tawny Stevens out of the back, and there's Ajanaku again. That hang time tips it down.
You just can't quantify the hang time and how valuable it is. Not only hitting, but blocking as well. And that time Ajanaku just went up, waited, eyes open, great fundamentals for middle blocking, and slapped that ball down.
Holt out of the back. Vonyak tries to tip it over, but Kyra Holt was right there.
Well, Kyra Holt, they rely on her for so much hitting, so much defense, so much great serving, but man, she's come up with some really big blocks for Washington State here in the first 2 sets.
And she's covering some ground as they had gone to her out of the back, and then suddenly she's right up there at the net. Quick swing, Inky Ajanaku with the finish. The redshirt senior out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, had to watch last year with that ACL injury, but she's starting to get back to true form, Mike.
Yeah, I saw her earlier in the season, and you could see she's just moving gingerly. Now she's really aggressively. That was a difficult pass to get to, and she was on it and quick.
Such a mental part of getting back when you have a big injury like that also, and that's some of the tough parts to do. She was such a physical player, as that time a little too much on it out of the back. And a 4-point lead for Stanford.
Yeah, tough play for Rigoni. That set to the 10-foot line was just a little low for Holt, and still you got to keep that ball in. And timeout for Washington State. Time to regroup. Good timeout for Washington State.
But Jen Greeny takes the timeout and wants her team to talk things over a little bit. You know, she had an opportunity in the offseason. She was an assistant coach for the U.S. College National Team, and there you see they won the gold. She was an assistant coach alongside assistant coach Brent Crouch. And how about Beth Lanier?
Yeah,
absolutely.
Great guys.
What a great experience this is to get that international play. And 2 of her players right there, you see Shane Line and Woodford got to play on that team. What a great opportunity.
And talking with Coach Greenlee, she mentioned that you know, when teams travel abroad and you play at a different level, and you realize that, man, I can maybe play at that next level, and then you come back to school and back to practice, and then you get in these Pac-12 matches, and you're like, okay, it's Stanford, but I was playing against Lavinia, and they're very best players and adults, and hanging right with them, and it gives them a confidence that they really brought into this season.
Definitely. They played in Italy. They finished off in Croatia and won the gold against China. But right now, John Dunning's team up by 4 in set 2, trying to even things up before the intermission. And just have cleaned up some areas. They're serving better. They're passing much better. And that leads to a lot of good things. They're also blocking better. They were struggling with their block, but they've gotten that going.
I think it all started when there was that play early on in the second set where Fitzmaurice and Plummer let the ball drop in between them. And I think everybody collectively just looked at each other and say, we're better than this. We've got to do more.
Bonyak, and one arm on it was Holt. And Whitford tries to tip it. It's off the block, but it stays in, so Stanford will get it.
And Catherine Plummer that time doing the same thing on the right side, sealing that line, not letting the dink tool her. Another big block for Stanford.
Morgan Hintz moves over to the other side for the serve. What an angle. A nice shot there from McKenna Whitford.
Okay, if it's going to start the comeback for the Cougs, it's going to start with some tough serving and some blocking and defense.
Taylor Mims, tough serve, and a nice job by Jenna Gray to save that one out of the net. Bethune comes flying in, but she cannot finish.
Smart shot by Stanford, putting that free ball onto the setter so that someone else had to set. Mims does a nice job setting out on the right side, and Bethune just went for the radical down the line shot.
Kelsey Humphreys back to Holt. That's a short, quick one to Fitzmaurice. Holt out of the middle, doesn't clear it. The block was waiting.
Yeah, Fitzmaurice was all over that again. Boy, see the intensity in her eye at the net. She wants to touch anything that comes her way. Look at that. I love that shot right there.
Talented freshman, no doubt. Tough pass to handle by Rigoni. And no touch by the Cardinals, so it'll stay on their side. Yeah, that's a big presence up at the net. Ivana Vonyak there, Moretta Lutz. Vonyak, who's moved back outside. She had moved to the middle position last year. There's the block again, right down and right back to McKenna Whitford. And so the Cardinal are at set point. Whitford, instead of going across, she finds an opening in the back. Free ball back to the Cougs. And it's Claire Martin out of the middle, bit of a miss hit, and set number 2 goes to Stanford. I knew it would be a close match. We expected it to be anyway. In the first set, Cougs came out and took control early on, but it was Stanford coming out and dominating a bit more early in that one.
Yeah, it was interesting. Midway through that second set, we thought it was going to be a barn burner all the way through to the end, and just ended up Stanford really imposing their will toward the second part of that second set.
We're joined now by the head coach of the Washington State Cougars, Jen Greeny. And Coach, your team came out in set number 1 and really took control of things, and you knew that Stanford would try to come back at you. What were some of the areas that stood out to you here in set 2 that you want to try to turn around?
Well, we definitely need to pass better. Our passing really broke down, and with that, we get really predictable, and then, they have such an imposing block, then if we're out of system, it's pretty tough to get that ball past them. So we just need to relax, pass the ball, and our hitters need to stay aggressive.
Jen, a lot of young players from both sides on the court. in this atmosphere. How proud are you to have this crowd and this kind of feeling going on in this gym right now? I'm loving it.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, Bowler Gym is an awesome place to play, but we got to give the crowd something to get a little bit more excited about. Back to how it was in that first set.
You got it.
Now, but Jimmy, appreciate it, and happy anniversary again. By the way, we had to make sure we got that beautiful wedding photo.
Oh yes, beautiful. Thanks, guys.
Congratulations. We'll see you in a little bit.
Okay, thanks.
All right, Jen Greeny's team. It's one set apiece here on the home court. Don't forget our sports report, an update coming up right after this. We'll have more for you on Pac-12 Network. Welcome back for Pac-12 volleyball here at Washington State. Tied up one set apiece in our Pac-12 volleyball presented by Tachikara. And starting off set one, the Cougs came out and they were on fire, Mike.
Yeah, the Cougs were really on fire. Holt was just delivering from all areas of the court. The block was there, the intensity was there, the passing was there. When you talked to Jen Greeley right at the end of the second set, she said, we've got to get our passing back. That keeps us in system and allows Taylor Mims to go up there and be effective out of the middle. In the second set, boy, Stanford really imposed their will at the net. And Washington, as a result of the poor passing, ended up with 16 errors in attack. And Stanford just, it was amazing. Early on in that second set, it seemed like the whole group collectively just really ramped things up a little.
They definitely did. Well, we are joined now by the head coach of the Stanford Cardinal, John Denning. And Coach, you knew that this Washington State team, they've been playing so well, and they showed that in set one. What did you talk to the team about in the break before set two as you were able to turn some things around?
Well, they bring a lot of things at you from a lot of directions. Their block is huge. You have to make choices in volleyball according to situations, and we were choosing badly and executing badly. When we make 10 hitting errors in a game, we're going to lose. We have to get the other team have a chance to play against us in our block, and we were horrible at that. Second game, a little bit better.
John, it seemed like early in the second set there was a free ball that dropped between Plummer and Fitzmaurice, and yeah, you could see it in the faces of the players. They were embarrassed, and it was like, it seems like collectively everyone picked up the intensity after that.
Yeah, I mean, energy matters, and it's all contagious. And when you let easy things happen on your side and don't make the other team earn it, then probably another one's going to happen unless you stand up and be counted in the moment. And thank God we did, because the whole first game we let things drop. And that one was really critical that we stepped up after that, and I was really proud of them.
All right, John, we appreciate the time and the insight. Thanks very much.
Thank you.
All right, as we get ready for set number 3 here, take a look at the numbers and the things that stand out. Those hitting percentages, a bit surprising, huh, Mike?
Yeah, the tale of two. Both teams in one set hit negatively, and so this is crucial. You know, you always talk a lot about the third set, but in particular when you have two kind of polar opposite sets for each team, who's going to come out and really establish themselves right here? It's going to be big.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as we are underway. Crystal Blanc along with Mike Dodd here at Bowler Gym on the campus of Washington State University. And the Cougs take the first point. What an atmosphere. What a great match. This top 20 matchup. And we are tied up one set apiece. How about an ace? McKenna Woodford, her second of the evening. That's 9 on the season.
Yeah, and the Cougs have gotten a lot of good point runs with Woodford's serve. It seems like they're in sync with her tough serve and the blocking.
Tough set for Lutz, but the Cardinal keep it going. Holt outside, big swing and finish.
And if you're going to beat Fitzmaurice and Lutz, you're not going to do it with high sets to the outside. They got to be fast and quick. And look at this. Wham. Straight out fast. Beats the block.
Jen Greeny told us the passing has to be there. We were so out of system in set 2. Doing a better job at least to start set 3. Keefe with the tip. Holt has to adjust. That's an area that she has definitely worked on, is being aggressive when they're out of system.
Yeah, that was a really tough play for Holt, and she ripped that ball cross court. A lot of times in the past, there'd be an unforced error on that play. Keep the ball alive. Good things happen. Unforced error by Stanford, point for Washington State.
She and McKenna Woodford, those are areas they've really worked on and focused on. And that's when the team does get out of system, how to still be aggressive, and the block aggressive there.
Schoenlin and Martin, timeout Stanford. The block is doing it for Washington State.
5-0 start for the Cougs here in set 3. John Dunning and the Cardinal take the timeout. For Cindy Frederick, who was her head coach when she played here. And she has just aligned herself with the kind of recruits that she's wanted to get, and they've been believers as well.
They're big, and they're fast, and they're skilled.
It started with the senior group, Kyra Holt and company. She has 4 seniors on this team, and there you see McKenna Woodford, and then she brought in now the sophomore group, the freshman last year, to go along with this talent, and you can see what she's capable of doing.
And Durigi, the freshman, is just passing nails out there.
Yeah. They go outside, but the block was right there for the Cougs.
And again, give Woodford credit. That is really a tough jump float serve right down the line on Keefe, making her pass and then go outside and try to hit against that big block. It's not easy.
Short, quick to Ajanaku, and the touch is called. It'll go to the Cardinal.
And that's the beauty of Ajanaku and the hang time, is that even when the pass is off the 10-foot line, she's an available weapon for this Stanford offense. Nice luxury to have. Not a lot of middles that can say that.
What a shot out of the back from Woodford. Cardinal keep it going. Holt using the net, finds the gap.
Haley McDonald, that ball was going to go 3 feet over the net. She just reached out and saved it. Kind of chucked something out there and didn't get called and got the point.
Jenna Gray out to Plummer, had some pop on that one.
Wow, that thing just exploded off the hand. Heavy ball. Catherine Plummer's the real deal. Man, this is fun. Everybody's so into it. God, you look around the gym, and even in the rafters, people are standing all over.
Great to see the capacity here, 3,000. Holt tries to take that one over, and the block read it the entire way.
Well, she's had success on that before, but that time Catherine Plummer got up quick. Plummer hit, got dug, and still got up quick enough to block the on-two from Holt.
Plummer coming off with a career high 18 kills in their win at Washington, and now involved in the block again.
And we talked about this at the start as well. Plummer known for her great hitting, leading the team in kills and percentage in the Pac-12, but this is where she shines, shutting down the very best outside hitter of her opponent's team.
She can also set. John Dunning said she works out with the setters every single practice, and just trying to take something off there. Shane Line can't get it over the net.
Every pregame she takes a lot of setting reps as well. She's literally, for me, like a young Irvin Magic Johnson, because she can play every position on this court.
Serve from Keefe. Mims tips it over. Hustle from Hintz. Bump set back to Kyra Holt, and a double block again. Ajanaku and Plummer have just taken away that right side.
And that's just Catherine Plummer's high IQ.
Jen Greeny wants the timeout. The Stanford Cardinal, they go up 4 here in set 4.
Really need something good to happen for them right now.
And the service from Keefe, they'll take that. They'll take it.
They'll take it any time. Out service just as much a point as a straight down bomb. John Dunning like, oh gosh. It's like a fighter. When you got him on the ropes, don't let him off the hook.
Plummer has to tip that one. Rigoni. She goes out to Holt. And Fitzmaurice closed up that opening in the back. Ajanaku with the tip. Nice hustle from Derigi. And there's a big arm and swing, and Haley Bethune, she needed that one.
Oh boy, did she need it. That was her first kill for the night. She's had a really rough go of it, and man, I'll take him at the end of the match.
Yeah.
If you can get him.
Haley Bethune, primarily outside most of her career, and a tough serve from Rigoni, the ace. Her 14th on the season.
Just kind of caught Ajanaku. Not ready for that at all.
Cougs pull within 2, and that one way too much on it.
The exuberance of youth.
The adrenaline was flowing.
You can't put a governor on it, you know. Everybody gets their juices flowing. They get pumped up, and bam, there goes the serve.
There's Morgan Hintz. Quick swing from Mims in the middle, and they'll take it back.
Mims again up so early. She's just up there, just waiting for the ball to get to the setter. She's already in the air. Love quick hitters like that.
Kyra Holt. Nice up from Keefe. Big swing from Vonyak, and just catches the back line.
Boy, Vonyak has got a lot of nice equipment. She moves really smoothly. She's got a nice arm swing. Still makes a few too many errors, but boy, continues to grow. Good stuff.
Big swing and finish from McKenna Woodford. Cougs back within 2.
Woodford just does a lot of little things. She serves tough. She's really the only blocker that gives Plummer any trouble over on the right side when she's blocking. And tough break.
Service error from Mims right there.
Yeah.
So the Cardinal will take it back. John Dunning up, talking to Beretta Lutz in the front row. Here's Holland McKenna, sophomore defensive specialist. Lutz hard off the block and out of bounds, and a double fist pump from Beretta Lutz.
Lutz loves to hit that sharp cross court on the right side. She plays a little beach herself, a little cut shot.
So tough to block her when she gets into position at 6'8". And that angle, it's a good one. That time, just a little too much.
Stanford that time kind of running the Oregon free ball attack with a very fast pass to the net, fast outside. Just didn't have the control.
Haley McDonald back in, the senior setter. And they try to go Fitzmaurice on the slide, and hits the antenna, and it goes to the Cougs.
And that's another good job by Woodford, getting up and forcing Fitzmaurice to try to be so fine down that line that she hits the antenna.
Fitzmaurice had to adjust on that one, and it was all McDonald could do to get a hand on it.
Tough break, nice dig, went up into the rafters, got knocked down. You're going to see Keefe one-on-one outside, putting some heat down that line, and point Stanford.
Shane Line.
Wow, Ajanaku pressed so far over into the angle on that block. Schoenlein just hit as sharp an angle as she could hit, and Ajanaku just threw it down.
Block able to finish. A miscue by the Cougs. They have to give the free ball. Woodford. Good hustle from Fitzmaurice. back, and they'll say it caught the line.
Caught the line. I think the Stanford hitters just got to take the dink and the roll shot out of their arsenal, because Derigi is just picking up everything.
She definitely is.
You're going to see sharp crossbody. Well, we're going to take the ref's word for it.
Exactly. It's hard to see from the angle. Up. And there's a Joniku coming around, gets the finish. You know, you mentioned the liberos, and we have 2 freshman liberos. I have seen so many talented freshman liberos in the conference already this season, and it's really something to see. They play at a different level coming in.
Just already got the 10,000 hours. They're experts. Really can play the D, and more importantly, they can read the game.
Yeah, the importance of that position and how it's really grown the last several years. And the block finds an opening.
That time Holt seals that line with the left hand. Just able to keep that block in the court.
Cougars keeping the crowd on their feet.
Well, this is the same as the third set.
Yeah.
Stanford was in control, or seemed in control all the time, but the Cougars just kind of hung in there with grit and good blocking.
Service error for Washington State. So Michaela Keefe a step back for the Cardinal to serve. Jen Greeny and her staff. Shannon Hunt next to her. Former teammate here at Washington State.
That time Schoenlein got the good angle cross court. Didn't let a Joniku penetrate and slap that one down. You're going to see a Joniku just getting out there late. Couldn't get over in time.
Quick arm there. Casey Schoenlein getting it done. Back set to a Joniku, and it just goes wide. And now Washington State pulls within 2.
Such a pretty set from Jenna Gray. Wouldn't be surprised to see her go right back to a Joniku, keep her involved.
A Joniku sends it right at Bethune.
And that's just, that again, that's volleyball IQ, that's experience, that's a freshman saying, I'm going to keep my horse going strong. I'm not going to go away from her. And that's a smart set.
And the serve goes long for Hintz, so it gives it right back to the Cougs.
The gray hairs are flowing. His out serves are just killing both Jen Greeley and John Dunning.
What a swing and finish from McKenna Woodford.
Again, Derigi just right on the cross court with the great dig. This time overhead, right on a dime.
Tough serve to handle for the Cardinal. Woodford again at the block. Finds a way to get it through. We are tied up.
And McKenna Woodford is really doing a job out on that left side in transition, taking a lot of really tough sets against a big 2-person Stanford block and getting the ball down, really getting it done for the Cougars.
This crowd wants to see something that has not happened in quite some time, since 2002. It's the last time Washington State has defeated the Stanford Cardinal. There's still a lot left in this one, tied up in set number 4. Krista Bluck along with Mike Dodd here at Bollard Gym, and we've got a good one. Washington State at 2-1. They've just tied it up here in set 4. And it's been an incredible crowd and atmosphere, and the energy's kind of been shifting back and forth.
I mean, from the moment we got here, we knew this was going to be a really good, just intercollegiate athletic event. Just the crowd, the enthusiasm of the students, the looks on the player faces, both teams confident, both teams on a roll, both teams coming here to win, and that's when you know you're going to have a great match.
I mean, it makes people change their hair color. It's bringing out everybody. And it started with the start of conference play. Washington State had to go out on the road to Washington, the number 4 team in the nation at the time. So we take a look at this flashback. It's something that they had not done since 2001.
I mean, you just don't go into UW and win on the opening night of the Huskies, home court, all the mojo flowing, and Washington State just went in there and took them to task. Look at that. You gotta love it.
Beat the Huskies 3-1 on the road, and then they hit the road again, went down south.
How can anyone not love college sports when you look at things like that? I mean, it's so cool.
It really is, and it's great to see Jen Greeny and her team and staff. They've worked so hard over the last 6 seasons trying to put together this group and get the student athletes that they wanted, and being former players, it feels even better to them. See if John Dunning gets something out of the Cardinal, though, out of the timeout. Plummer.
What a dig.
Kyra Holt kept that one alive. Again, a hand on it, and they just can't get there, but great effort on both sides.
And that's one of those plays where Washington State lost the rally, but they might have even gained a little momentum because there was such great hustle and great defensive plays.
Kyra Holt got her hand on that one somehow. That one should have been out the first time.
She got that one at about 11 feet as well. That thing was way high.
Talking to her team.
Washington State in the net. Yeah.
Tough break for the Cougs, but the Cardinal will take it. Extend their lead to 2.
Again, Vanyard with great mobility picked up that dink shot in the middle of the court to give Stanford the opportunity.
Woodford, a little bigger swing this time. And Vanyard off the antenna. It goes out. It'll go back to Washington State. Bonavaniak, redshirt junior. She's changed her role a bit with this team, but good communicator. I think she's really improved in so many areas. Lutz. Tough break and frustration for Washington State. Let's just tip that one over and found an opening.
To her credit, Lutz tipped that ball back to the line, so just made it that much tougher for Rigoni to get on it in time. Don't tip to the middle, or Dirigi's going to gobble that thing up.
Bump set out to Lutz. Sends it down the line. Humphreys could barely get there. Great hustle by the Cougs, but too much on it. And Stanford up by 3.
Great job by Adriana Fitzmaurice, who's been a little quiet here in these last couple sets, but that time did a great job of getting off the net and back up for the quick set when things were a little helter-skelter there. And now Stanford, they've been here before at this point in a set. Let's see if they can finish and make it go 5.
Woodford, great hustle.
Great try.
And Michaela Keefe comes flying in right at us.
Michaela Keefe just says, I do not care about my body or anything. I am going to get this ball for my team, and really comes into our little spot over here hard with a lot of force. Glad she's okay.
Big swing from Lutz. Nice up from the Cougs. And they pull within 1.
Tough break for McKenna there. Unable to control that soft block for Stanford. Watch the dig, though. Dirigi just says, come on, what else? Another nice finish there.
Slide from Fitzmaurice or overpass, and Lutz right there to handle it.
Lutz just waiting at the net. Pounces on that over dig. Cougars are right there. If they can get a couple good passes and some side outs, they just might steal another one.
Backs it to Woodford off the block. They try Lutz on a slide play, and it works. These are things that she's had to learn and work on.
Lutz in transition, just gets mobile. Doesn't even get the one-leg takeoff, but she's tall enough to just reach up, even without a big jump, and snap that ball down.
She's laughing about it just a little bit, but they go up by 3, and Jen Greeny calls the timeout. Stanford has been now on a 6-match road swing. This is their final one. They finally get to go home, and this is what they will face next. They will face Colorado and Utah, and then Arizona and Arizona State after that, but all 4 at home.
And you think, well, that should be easy, but the Arizona teams have shown that they're not ranked. They're no slouch.
You're absolutely right. And they have been happy to have their redshirt senior back, Inkia Janaku, and she's really starting to feel the physical presence again that she's had in the past.
Yeah, she really has looked as more like herself tonight than I've seen her in. The other match I did of hers was at Oregon State, and again, she was, it was only 2 weeks ago, but even from then to now, she's made a big jump. And I think you mentioned it, that when you have a big injury like that, and you've done the surgery and you've done all the training, you're ready to go, but you're really not ready to go until you test that thing and really put a lot of pressure on it and then realize, okay, I'm going to be okay. And when you get through that mental hurdle, that's when you really start to make strides.
Yeah, and easier said than done.
No,
she's
it's
such
not easy.
a physical, aggressive player, and frustration when your body's not exactly doing what you think you can maybe do. And the tip from Claire Martin, she's been quiet, but she comes in with a spark for the Cougs.
Well, the thing is, she doesn't make mistakes. That was a poor set. It was too low for her to really reach and extend, but she doesn't, instead of hitting in the net or hitting out, she just dinks it in the deep middle and gets the kill. That's why these medals for Washington State hit for such high percentages. They don't make mistakes.
Tawny Stevens, tough serve, and it's handled. And there's the block.
Well, Tawny Stevens hits that jump serve with such force that the pass is too quick for Janaku to really get up in time. No middle, hence big block on the outside.
And the ace for Tawny Stevens, her second of the night, and we are tied up once again.
And there is no doubt John Dunning is going to take a timeout. He does not want to see a second steal of a set that he's been in control of, and this is exactly what's happening.
Crowd getting into it here at Bowler Gym. Smiles on the faces of Washington State. I mean, this is something that this senior group and this program has not done in a very long time. And for Washington State, they have this one to kick off the weekend. They will face the Cal Bears coming in. And then after that,
but you mentioned it. You see it on the face of the Washington State players. They believe.
Yeah.
They believe. Was it the travel during the summer, the competition, the extra competition, the confidence that you get from playing at a higher level and then bringing it back to the Pac-12? Whatever the reason is, they believe out there, and that's why they're able to come in and hang tough, and even when they're not playing their best, do what they did in the last set and they might do here in the fourth set, and that is steal it from Stanford. Just go right out and take it and say, we're going to do it.
Well, it started back in the spring for the Cougars because they were able to get the transfer, Nicole Rigoni, in. They got her back so she could play in the spring. And because of that, they decided, we're going to try a 6-2 because Jen Greeny said, we have all of our hitters back. Let's see if we can make that work.
Yeah, and the key was, too, with Rigoni was Coach Greeny said that one of the best surprises of the season has been how solid Rigoni is in her thought process, in her decision making in these big matches that she didn't know whether she was going to be ready for.
Absolutely. Stevens, another good serve. Back set to Lutz. Blocks there. DeRigi. Hintz, the libero's getting a workout. And it's
Oh my Lantis. Wow. That block was just out of bounds. Everyone kind of collectively holding their breath and watching. Does this go?
Moretta Lutz says out.
Lutz says out. Okay, here we go.
Set point Cardinal. Tied up again.
Wow, that is a great swing for Holt. Big time. Everyone knew where it was going. She just steps up and rips this thing with deep, hard heat cross court. Huge side out.
Plummer.
Wow.
Gets back involved and they go up again.
Maybe not the same hoopla, but just as effective, man. Plummer just pops that thing. Great set, too, here by Gray. Getting the one-on-one on the outside for Plummer, and she just ripped it.
Set point number 2. Shane Line. What an up from Hintz. Holt again. So much on it.
Just look at the crowd. We don't even need to talk at this point. This is just great volleyball. This is what it's all about.
They don't even need seats
So
in
much
here,
fun.
Mike. They haven't sat the whole time. Janaku, but she's blocked.
Man, what a leader. Right after the block, Janaku just turns to all of her players. Let's see it right here. She gets blocked. She turns to all of them and says, "That's my bad." Man, take ownership. You gotta love it. Oh, what a dig.
This is match point for the Cougs, and too much on it.
Oh, my goodness.
Washington State thought there was a touch, but they're going to say no.
It really looked like that ball ricocheted off the block. Well, it happens.
See what you think.
Ooh, I don't know.
Patel tied up again. Plummer, what a swing and great hustle and effort from Rigoni. They can't save it, and now Stanford again. Set point.
Tawny Stevens has made a couple of overhead digs on just bombs. Now Stanford's turn to make this go 5.
Back set, the slide from Holt. It goes long, and that will push this to a 5th. Had to go extra, and the Cougars couldn't get it done. We'll show you the 5th set right after this on Pac-12 Network.
Let's forget about that and let's focus right here. And that, you know, those leadership qualities, those things that come out in the heat of battle are what really make a team and make a leader. And when your best player is doing stuff like that, it really helps.
And when you have this young of a group for Stanford, if you don't have an Inky Ajanaku coming back this year as a redshirt senior, you may not have that kind of leadership. Vonyak got on top of that one, so point number 1 goes to the Cougs.
Wow, what great defense again by Holt. Just picking that ball right up off the ground.
Lutz in the middle. The Cougs had 3 players up.
And you know, on the roster sheet, we got Lutz as an opposite hitting right side, but she's really a middle.
Yeah.
She's really most effective hitting the middle sets.
Yeah, John Dunning said he felt like Fitzmaurice in her first season with this level of college play, the middle would be a good place for her. And so he moved Moretta Lutz. He said he also wanted to see what kind of damage Moretta Lutz could do elsewhere, but they're so interchangeable.
Opposites, you know, they've always got 3 in the front row, and they're in the front row, and they can hit middle just as well as anyone else. So it's a perfect spot for Lutz.
Tawny Stevens with the serve. Fitzmaurice on the slide. Holt rolls that one over. Go to Holt again. She tries to tip this one off the block. And a miss hit by Michaela Keefe. Tough one to handle for the freshman. And John Dunning up, keeping her head up, trying to keep her positive.
That's just good coaching. Right to her. Forget about it. Stay with it. We're going to need you later.
What a tough serve, and a smart decision there by Fitzmaurice to take something off of that one.
You know, it's called a broken play for a reason, and it affects the opposing defense as well. A lot of times those broken plays, they're the hardest ones to pick up.
Yeah, very good point, and it did right there. Shane Line finds an opening in the back. We are up by 2 now, the Cougs are.
That's just a great high swing, and look at the emotion. Shane Line, you think she wants it? Gotta love this.
Junior out of Bellevue, Washington. Oh, what a pretty tip from Inky Ajanaku. Jen Greeny up, keeping her team going too.
Yeah, just love the dynamic of Ajanaku. Look at her, just on her players 24/7 in nothing but positivity. Good stuff, great stuff. What a leader.
Backs at the Shane Line, the block sent it out, and another point for Washington State.
Look at Shane Line, so fired up. This time she goes up and just swinging so hard that Stanford block can't turn that ball back into the court.
That was a nice pass and setup there for Plummer. Almost a little bit of a missed hit, but it falls in.
And again, Jenna Gray is just so composed on passes that are passes that, quite frankly, a lot of other setters will freak out and just kind of jab at the ball. She's setting it to a spot.
Mims, she's been quiet, and they go back to her.
Give Nicole Rigoni, number 3, credit. Distribute. Keep everyone involved. Here's Mims up early. Ajanaku's not going to commit. Take advantage.
Gray, the back set to Ajanaku, and an opening in the back corner. Stanford pulls within 1.
This is so much fun. This is such great intensity on both sides.
Mims again off the hands of Hintz.
Boy, Hens and Derigi for 2 freshmen sure do dig a lot of balls. Great defenders.
Taylor Mims back to serve. Sophomore out of Billings, Montana. Gained a lot of experience last year as Fitzmaurice out of the middle. Able to get that one to fall, and she's smiling. She knows she didn't quite get full contact.
She kind of whiffed that ball, but it kind of worked her advantage because it didn't have enough oomph to go out of bounds. Just kind of dropped in.
Kelsey Humphreys back in for the Cardinal, back to serve.
What a pass.
Oh, self-defense by Hintz in the back. And a tough one for Vonyak. Got her body turned. And they'll switch sides as Washington State is up 8-6.
First to turn would mean something. Washington State, right there. There's belief. Stanford with the intensity, with the history, with everything that's gone on with that program. Boy, you look at John Dunning and the accomplishments of the school and him personally as a coach. I don't even have room on my papers to write everything down. There's just too much to comprehend. But
You're right.
Stanford, regardless, in situations like this, they've got that. They've got the history, they've got the tradition, and that's something that Washington State is starting to build, but something that Stanford's had for what seems like forever. I mean, you go back, Kerry Walsh, all the great players, Don Shaw, 4 NCAA championships when he was coaching there. They've got that, but Washington State has something special. They've got a bunch of screaming fans lining the rafters right now, firing them up. So
Definitely
this is good stuff.
They're into it here. Well, we've got a lot going on this weekend. Some football tomorrow as well. And it's a triple header on Pac-12 Network. Catch all the action from the Beavs, Buffs, Utes, Bears, Ducks, and Cougs on an unstoppable day of college football action. Coverage begins tomorrow at 10:30 a.m. on Pac-12 Network or watch on Pac-12 Now. Such a fun time of year. The Washington Huskies took on the Stanford Cardinal tonight in football, and I would say the Stanford fans not happy about it, but our producer Ross Miller, a UW grad, very happy about it. So, what was the final score?
44-6.
44-6. He's getting it tattooed, I think, on his arm. He's really excited about it. That's a big win, though, and it's a tough place to go. And the Huskies got the win over Stanford. We'll see who can finish this one off here in set 5. What a great match it has been. Krista Blanc and Mike Dodd, so happy to be here with you. And out of the timeout, the Cardinal take the point.
And give credit to Kelsey Humphreys on that. That pass was way over the net. She went up as high as she could humanly go and saved that for a quick set to Lutz and kept the point alive for Stanford. A much needed point.
Claire Martin trying to tip that one to an opening in the back. Couldn't do it. Double block. It stays in. Point to the Cougs.
Hens tried to get the pancake on that. Up official says no. That ball hit ground. Point Washington State.
Tawny Stevens, she's already had a couple of aces tonight. Lutz sails that one wide.
Dirigi was right on it. Showed the composure, didn't reach out. Let the ball go out of bounds. Here's Dirigi, she's there. She could go for it, but no. She's got the presence of mind to say that's out. Those are big plays.
That was close, but it's now a 3-point lead for Washington State. Number 17, Washington State, up by 3 in set number 5 to number 9, Stanford, and trying to do something that they have not done since 2002, and that is defeat the Stanford Cardinal. Got to make it to 15, and Jen Greeny's team trying to just accomplish something that they just have not done in a very long time, but still a lot of play left, and you figure the Cardinals still have some left. Out of the timeout, they get the first point.
Adriana Fitzmaurice coming up huge for the Cardinal on that right side flare, ripping it cross court. She's gotten a few runs with her serve as well.
Tough serve, the pass a bit off the mark, and taking a little off as Holt. She was well off the net, but the block couldn't do it.
And it's another one of those plays where things get a little confused, and it almost confused the block of the Stanford more than Washington State's attack. Stanford not pressing over and unable to secure the ball on that block.
What a shot from Kyra Holt off the bump set. That's all that work she put into being out of system line.
And Dirigi has been doing this all night, giving great bump sets to the right and left side. No one taking more advantage of it than Kyra Holt right there, and Stanford's with another timeout, their last.
So the Cougs have to keep their composure, and John Dunning calls another timeout.
Well, the Cougs have turned the tide on Stanford a couple times and stolen one of the sets, almost stole the fourth set. Maybe Stanford can get back at Washington here in the fifth. A lot, we'll know a lot from this side out here. If Stanford can get a good pass and get a side out, get 9, try to get something rolling with their block and their serving, it looks good. If Washington State, on the other hand, can come out of this timeout and score, things are looking good for a wild celebration around here.
It can go either way, and both of these teams have such impressive wins on their schedule, and multiple ranked teams that they've been able to defeat. And the 2 losses for Washington State, one was at number 20 Purdue, and one was a 5-setter at Baylor. And the Cardinal, a loss to a now ranked San Diego team early on, and also a loss to Purdue, was ranked at the time.
I gotta assume that Stanford in that timeout was figuring out some type of offensive scheme to get the ball to Ajanaku. It's always harder with the middle than with outsides as far as setting up plays and stuff, because the middle you need a good pass, but Ajanaku's one of those special players that she can get involved in the play even if the pass is off the net.
Well, they do have Holland McKenna in the back, and they have Hintz, their libero, so they can get the pass. You're right, they do go to her, but it wasn't quite the way they would want it. Hard shot off the block. Shaneline comes through.
Right now, John Dunning's just going to watch his team and see what the character is made of. Right now, this is it.
Off the top of the net, Derigi. They go to Lutz. Tawny Stevens into the trombone section. Or make that McDonald rather. And fist pumps and the coaching staff up. One hustle from Haley McDonald.
I think Haley McDonald got caught up on a trombone after that play. Here goes the sprint into the trombone section. Takes him out. What a great hustle play.
For the Cougs. Tip from Majanaku. Holt off the block, out of bounds. And Washington State beats the Stanford Cardinal for the first time in the last 25 tries.
At the end there, I think John Dunning and Stanford just had to tip their hat. This crowd, this momentum, the hustle, the new athletes, everything that Washington State has going for itself came out at the end of this match. Wow, what a win.
3 straight ranked teams in conference play to start for Washington State, and 3 straight wins. They remain undefeated.
Or maybe it was Jen Greeley and the pressure she put on the team saying, you've got to win for my 16th wedding anniversary.
Jen Greeley and Burdette Greeley will never forget their 16th wedding anniversary. That is for certain. This crowd really into it, on their feet the entire way, and they get rewarded.
Wow. Nothing to say. Just watch and enjoy. So good.
The emotion, the enthusiasm, a lot of smiles, and for good reason. Jen Greeley said, we're going to take the momentum we've been having with these wins. Well, they did it here tonight, and they get another one. So they will face the Cal Bears on Sunday, and Stanford gets to head home finally after 6 on the road, and have 4 straight at home. And some high fives all around Bowler Gym. Crowd was into it. That is for certain. Jen Greeny's dad up in the stands as well.
And I think if you're Jen Greeley, you also got to
enjoy this moment, but at some point get your team back in the locker room and said, hey, we're early on in the Pac-12 season. Let's not go crazy.
Yeah, they're going to enjoy this one for a little bit, though. This was a big win, something they had not done in a very long time. We're joined now by one of the standouts for the Cougars and one of the seniors, Kyra Holt. Kyra, first of all, congratulations. This is something that you had never done in your career here at Washington State. You've won 3 straight now in conference play. How's it feeling?
It feels good. It feels good.
Kyra, it's funny. You look at the stats, and I think at the end you finished close to 0 or a negative percentage. Have you ever had that kind of percentage and played better? Because you hit so many tough balls and so many tough opportunities and really finished big at the end of sets for your team.
Yeah, I have. I think just working through it and keep trusting yourself, and I don't know, success will come.
You know, Kyra, I know this is a group that has some young players, some new faces, but there seems to be a chemistry there that has just been building over the years, and now you in your senior season. How has this team kind of put it together, especially running a 6-2? A lot of changes for you this year in some ways.
I guess just practicing hard in the gym, and I don't know, just chemistry off the court. And so we've been hanging out more and things like that, and just trusting each other.
Kyra, you played on a Pac-12 All-Star team in China this summer. How was that for you? Was that something that kind of opened your eyes and made you think I can play at an even higher level than what I'm doing?
Yes, it put a lot of trust and confidence in me, and I want to play. That made me realize that I want to play overseas. So that was just a great experience overall.
You know, Kyra, we talked to your head coach, Jen Greeny, and after beating a couple of ranked teams, and then you guys jump in at number 17, I asked, you know, do you have to worry about this team and being too excited? She said, nope, we're taking this momentum, but she also said, we're not changing anything. We're still on this team and doing all the same things. How have you not allowed your emotions, though, to get ahead of you? Because it's pretty exciting stuff you've been doing.
I don't know. I kind of expected it because I know we've been working hard and that the success will come, basically, and just, I don't know, living it every moment.
Well, Kyra, you gave us a great one here tonight. Congratulations. We'll be watching for you the rest of the way.
Thank you. Go Cougs.
Kyra Holt and the Washington State Cougars get the win over number 9 Stanford. Mike, what a match.
What a great match. Look at all the emotion. It's just so much fun to see the excitement in the crowd and in this school and in the players. They believed and they brought it through. Stanford took them to the limit. Stanford gave them everything they could, and Washington State took the punches and survived.
They definitely did. They go to 3-0 in conference play, 13-2 overall, and they will face the Cal Bears on Sunday. Well, that's going to do it for us. Here from Pullman, our producer tonight has been Ross Miller, and our director, Chris Lincoln. For Mike Dodd and our entire Pac-12 network crew, I'm Crystal Blanc saying so long from Bowler Gym, where number 17 Washington State gets the win over number 9 Stanford tonight. Thanks for being with us here tonight, everybody. Good night from Pullman.